Hi friends, welcome back to the session now. I just want to go through the essentials of HRM which we have already dealt with. I've shared this slide. See, we have done with the nature of HRM. Today I'll be speaking about scope and functions of HRM with the importance of HRM. When you just understand, this is one of the important factors which you will have to remember being a HR student. So, the scope is very wide and it requires in every organization. The scope of HRM is very wide. It includes personal aspect as well as the organization aspect. Now, if you just see the point, there you have everything: manpower, planning, recruitment, selection, placement, transfer, promotion, training, and everything is there in this aspect of scope for HRM. The human resource officer provides advices and assistance to the supervisors and the staff. See, the second point, what we understand is the scope of HRM is not just to bind people together, but also to mold people together. Like, now, if you know somebody who is not doing really well, it is the responsibility of the HRM to identify such people and train them and put them back to the job again. So this is one of the important things what HRM does. So the position coordinates and the staff recruitment process. The human resource officer provides advice and support to the supervisor and staff selection committees. Say for example, now I know that one of the organization need a software developer and also a software engineer. Now the team leader would have to identify what exactly he needs from the HR team. So based on his requirement, HR team in turn selects people for him and trains them and provide it to him. Then they also support in the failures. So how do they support? They will support in all the trainings. Then they will identify the employees who are not really good with their morale. They'll work to boost their morale, and all such things can happen in the under the HRM, which is again a scope of HRM. So here there are other areas where the scope of HRM is everlasting. I mean, here it is everyday process which would never end in any of the organization. For example, human resource planning. You have to plan for an organization. Without planning, you can't do anything. Once you plan, you have the job and you will write the job analysis. Generally, we call it as JD, that is job descriptions. Now, how do you arrive at a job description? It is again with the analysis. Now, suppose if you want a software developer, how do you identify a developer? You know what exactly your customer needs from you, and based on that, you will identify somebody who can design your software. Then recruitment selection happen based on the requirement of the job analysis. Then once the man is in, the orientation and induction is given on the project. My dear friends, you have to remember this. The orientation is one of the important aspect of HRM, because until and unless any employee knows about the organization, he can't gel well. So orientation and introduction about the organization as well as the project is the next point, and training and development is a very important part of HRM, because every day the market is changing and every day the requirement of the customers or the services are changing. So based on that, the service providers also have to change. So how do we change? It can happen only through a continuous training and developmental activities. My dear friend, next comes the performance appraisal. We all wait for this at the end of the year. Oh my God, March end is a performance, or January. Sometimes it is December and January in some of the organizations, whereas some in from March to June. So performance appraisal is also one of the aspect which HRM takes care based on a performance of an individual. Then compensation planning. This is another developed part or the further part of performance appraisal. Here, what happens is it is not just the financial aspect, but also this plans for the elevation of an employee. Maybe he is promoted as a lead, team leader, or maybe a manager. These all things happen in the compensation planning. Why do we call it as compensation planning? Is it is not just the salary benefit or financial benefit. It is in addition a responsibility given to the employee from the per se of the organization. So the next is remuneration, which comes with the compensation planning and promotional activities. The next one is motivation. My dear friends, tell me, who is not motivated with more salary? Everyone is motivated with a better salary, I'm sure with that. And next comes the welfare. Now if I give you a good salary and don't take care of your minimum requirements, do you remain in the organization? I'm sure you will not, because it is ultimately you work for your family and for yourself welfare, so you have to be taken care. Now for example, there are some of the organizations like manufacturing industries. They have the immediate facilities of accidents or fire accidents or machinery accidents. So these are the very bare minimum things an organization has to take care. And in this welfare, it is also important to understand, my dear friends, that an employee needs all such support from the organization. Like he would get schooling for his children, hospital facilities for their family, and also a transportation facility from wherever he works, travels. So these are all the welfare. Why do we give this as an organization? Because if the organization takes care of the employee, he in turn takes care of the organization, my dear friends. So the next point here is health and safety. Yeah, it comes with the welfare. So if we are taking care of the health of my employee, he will be keeping my organization very healthy. So that's very important, my dear friends. When we talk about health and safety, these two go hand in hand. So then next is industrial relations. It is not just the industrial relation externally, but internally also it has to be very well maintained, because we know what does industry mean. It's a group of firms working in the same kind of operations. Now if I don't take care of my employees properly, it is always an option, an opportunity for an employee to quit here and join the same line of firms. So industrial relationships makes you to understand what kind of benefits they are giving to their employees. So accordingly, you can take care of your employees as well. So next is organization development here. Now as the organization grows, the human power also grows. I'm sure you will all know the person who joins as an executive will never remain as an executive. He grows to the next level. So this is one of the very important part of HRM, because organization development completely depends on the human resource management. Until and unless HRM provides a better human power, the organization cannot work in the right sense. So next comes the career development. Suppose if I promote somebody as a team leader, I have to give him complete developmental activities. Like he has to be trained in personality development, team management, leadership qualities. These are the bare minimum things I'm talking. Apart from this, he has to be trained technically as well. Now we know that suppose if we employ or recruit somebody, we would have taken care of the technical aspect, but it is again important from the HRM per se to make sure he is updated to the requirement of the market. Then design the job. Now how do you design the job? It is the main concept of HRM, because every day, now if you just go back to 1980s and today, the software line has changed a lot. Earlier, they never used to have a lined up of or a clear-cut bifurcation of the organizational chart. Today, we have a beautiful chart which explains who stands where. Earlier, it was not so very well maintained, so there were a lot of confusions in the sharing of responsibilities. So because of that, today we have job design, which is very clear, my dear friends, where we hold an individual responsible for his act. Next comes is labor relations, which is one of the very important aspect of HRM, because you know labor category is the most important category anywhere in any organization, because they are the main power and source which can convert the raw material into finished products. Now for example, if you take a service industry and you okay, let's just understand a hotel. If you have a beautiful 3-star hotel, excuse me, and in that hotel the server does not behave properly, do you think you'll have a customer approaching you very often or repeated? No. So it is the labor relationship which makes the organization look better. So you have, as a HRM, you have to take care of grooming your labor, training your labor, providing them all such benefits, and also not only that, the grievances of labor, which is very, very important in any organization, my dear friends. So the HR research is next aspect, where we will be looking for new aspects or new changes in the field. Say for example, if you know the garment industry is one of the major industries in most of the developing countries. There you can see people, there are sorters, helpers, tailors, and so many other categories. They all come under labor category only, but as HR researcher, you will train them and develop certain skills amongst them. So this will lead to a better organization. And today, when we are working with huge machines, it could happen only through HR research. Otherwise, this wouldn't have happened, my dear friends. Then HR audit is a very, very important part of any organization, and most of the organizations are yet to start with this. But I can vouch on this. HR audit speaks about the whole organization. Here, this auditing is done on the HR documents of an employee. Today, with a lot of cheating cases or maybe betrayals, and there are so many other things which happen in an organization, HR audit helps us to find out who is the right person to be in the organization and where you can put him, what are the trainings you need to give him, or what are the benefits you have already given to him. So these audit things, HR audit helps you to understand an overview of the organization. Then succession planning, again it is a promotional activity where a junior is promoted to the next level, and it's a continuous process. Then quality and working life and personal welfare. My dear friends, quality of working life is one of the very, very important aspect of today's life. I can tell you, those who are in Bangalore would understand how it is to cross the Silk Board signal, or maybe the Bayappanahalli signal, or tin factory signal. These are all very, very hectic places where one or the other has to cross it. But don't you think a person who passes through such a pressure and tension will be with huge mental imbalance to go and reach his office or organization? The minute he goes and start working there, he wouldn't get along as he has to. So the organization has to create a atmosphere wherein he forgets all these pressure. So it's very important to have a balanced work life and welfare amongst the employees. My dear friends, let's understand the importance of HRM. Human resource management involves growth and prosperity, not only of the company but also of an individual employee. The journey of human resource management is from an individual to the organization. It is important to provide the employee with their physical. Dear friends, if you understand this, you know that the organization is there only if there is an employee, and employee is an employee only when there is an organization. So these two are very strongly knitted, close knitted, so it has to go hand in hand. So if your organization is running very well, that means you are taking care of your employees individually very well, and on the other hand, if your individual employees are taken care of, the organization reaches where it has to reach. My dear friends, I would like to give the example of Google today. I think you all know what Google is doing. So that's the best example. In the present scenario, the post-globalization, HRM is no more looked as a factor of production or capital, but it is completely treated as an asset because of the distinct features such as intelligence, creativity of each person in the organization, and he carries towards the development of the organization. My dear friends, HRM provides complete support to the individual to develop and sharpen his skill. You know, like if you understand, now there is a change in the project which you receive in the organization. So every project needs a new skill. So this way, every develops one or the other skills. My dear friends, this is the further things are important, where the functions are planning, organization, directing and control. These are called as managerial functions. Then the operative function is framing the HR policies as per the organizational requirement, procurement of manpower selection, recruitment and placement, training and development, motivation and maintenance, employee relationships. Then last one is performance appraisal, industrial relationships, and personal research and the audit. My dear friends, if you just go through all 4 points, you will understand exactly what HRM scope is. And now I would just conclude this topic with this picture which speaks the complete area, that is scope and importance of HRM. Thank you. Catch you up with a new topic.